This conference will now be recorded.
So once again, good evening everyone. So last class we discussed ADF components of data factory. One is pipelines, activities, linked services, and data sets, triggers, and integration runtime. So here these are all the components of the data factory which we discussed in the last class, and we discussed ADF, set variable activity. So ADF pipeline contains activities. One of the activity is a set variable activity. Okay, now so let me start this one. Go to portal.azure.com. I already logged in, guys, so it is going to redirect. And here last class I created this one. Ours is batch 53, right? Okay, this one. Now go to the data factory. Launch Studio. Now go to here. I'm going to create a pipeline. So here I'm going to create a new pipeline. One is set variable activity. Guys, whatever I discussed in the last session, just 5 minutes I'm going to discuss the same thing. Here my requirement is I want to declare a variables, person name, person age. I want output is person name is Ravi and age is 23. So this we discussed in the last session. I'm going to explain the same thing again first 5 minutes. So I'm going to take a two variables, person name, and one more variable, person age. So for these variables I want to assign the value. To assign the value we can use the set variable activity. Go to here general. So you can see the set variable activity, mouse left to click, drag this one into here. Now here you can see get person name. So for which variable you want to assign the value? This variable. What is the value, Ravi? I'm having a one more variable, get person age. For which variable you want to assign the value? For this variable. What is the value? This one. Now I want to debug. A debug is going to execute the pipeline. It is going to represent whether the value is assigned to a variable or not. So here you can see for this variable value is assigned. For this variable value is assigned. Now I'm going to take a one more variable, message. So here I want to print a message like this. Okay, I want a print statement. So there is no print statement here. So I'm going to concatenating the multiple strings. Now, so observe here, I'm taking one more variable. So here I'm going to I'm going to take a message variable. For this message variable, I want to assign the value. So message variable. Now here I want to assign the value. So here I want to concatenate multiple strings. So there is a predefined function string function concat. Person name is, so here you can see variables person name, comma, and age is. Here I'm going to take a one more variable person age 23. Okay. A debug. Person name is Ravi. Person age is 23. And message person name is Ravi and age is 23. So this up to here I explained in the last session. Now what happened is I am going to create a one more variable. I am going to create a one more variable city. For this city, I want to assign the value. To assign the value, one way is we can go for set variable activity. The another one is we can use the default value. We can use the default value. So here I am using the default value as Hyderabad. I am using the default value as Hyderabad. Now, as this is the variable, I assign the value, I can use the variable. So here in the message, I'm going to modify the message. Person name is Ravi, comma, age is 23, and the city is. I already declare a variable. I can use the variable city. Okay. Now, if you see here, concatenation, multiple strings. Concatenation of multiple strings. Now see the debug. So here I already assigned the default value as Hyderabad, so the value will be allocated. Here you can see person name Ravi, age is 23, and message is this one. So here you can see. Okay. Now observe this one. Now what I am doing is, in this case, I assign the value. I assign the value. Now variable related, what I am doing is, I am going to take a one more set variable activity. I'm going to take a one more set variable activity. Here I am taking the value as a get city. Taking the value get city. Here, for which variable you want to assign? This variable. What do you want to assign the value? I want to assign the value Bangalore. I want to assign the value Bangalore. So here I created a set variable. For this variable, I assigned the value Bangalore. Okay. Now, when you are using the variable here, whatever the latest value, it is going to take that one. So here by default I assigned the same variable. I am going to overwrite here with this value. So now see the output. Now you can see the output. Person name is Ravi, age is 23, and city is Bangalore. So here, if you want to assign the value, we can use the default values also. For suppose I am having a any server name, username. So throughout the pipeline, I don't want to make change. So those values we can make it in directly in the default, directly in the default. Okay. So that is about the set variable activity, guys. That is about the set variable activity. And today we are going to learn one more activity, which is a copy activity, which is a copy activity. As the name itself indicates, copy activity, we can copy the data from source to target. Copy the data from source to target. The way ETL operations is going to perform, similar kind of thing, but here it is a EL, extract and load. Whatever the source data, I'm going to load the data into the target copy, okay, as it is. Now instead of target, here we can call it as a sink. Here we can call it as a sink. Now let me tell you. For suppose, consider I'm having an example. I'm having a Oracle table. In Oracle, a database, I'm having a table, department details. Now this table data, I want to copy into another database, which is a SQL server. Okay. So there is a table DEPT, department. So whatever the data I want to copy into this one. Okay. So here I can use the copy activity. I can use the copy activity. So in this case, copy activity, source is a Oracle, sink is a SQL server. So source is a Oracle, sink is a SQL server. Okay. This is one thing. Similar way, consider I am having a data in the SQL server. I am having a data in the SQL server. So which is having order details. This data I want to copy into the cloud environment, ADLS file system. So here I am having a folder, source files folder. There I am receiving the file orders.txt. Whatever the table content I want to copy it into here. Whatever the table content I want to copy here. In this case also we can use the copy activity. In this case also we can use the copy activity. So here in the copy activity we are having source and target, source and sink. So in this case, source is the SQL server, sink is the ADLS. Okay. Similar way, I am going to have a same itself ADLS. In this one, I am having a folder, inbound folder. I am having a one more folder, outbound folder. Inbound folder, I am having a file. Now my requirement is whatever the file is there, I want to copy the file into outbound folder. Whatever the file I want to copy into outbound folder. So here also we can use the copy activity. We can use the copy activity. So in this case, source is the inbound folder. Sink is the outbound folder. Source is the inbound folder, sink is the outbound folder. Like this, source can be any, sink can be anything. Okay. Now, to do the copy activity, first thing is we have to create a linked service. So first thing is we have to create a linked service. Guys, this is a copy activity. First time it is difficult to understand. Try to concentrate, guys. So going forward, I am using copy activity daily. So that's why please be concentrate this one. Now, creating a linked service. Okay. So consider I created a linked service. Now, a linked service. So what linked service is going to do? Linked service establishes a connection. So last class I told you, I am having a pipeline, okay, which is a ADF pipeline. which is ADF pipeline. So linked service establishes a connection to this one. So here I am going to create a linked service ls underscore Oracle. I have created a linked service. I mentioned the name as ls underscore SQL Server. Similar way here also I have to create a linked service. Okay. How to create? I will tell you guys. SQL Server. That is one thing. Create a linked service, and then we have to create a data set. Create a linked service for source and target, source and sink, and then create a data set, and then create a data set. One is for source, another one is for target, another one is for sink. So here, okay, a data set represents the data. Which one do you want to pointing? So here I am going to create a data set to pointing to this table. So here I am creating a data set as a ds underscore source. Similar way, where do you want to copy? I want to copy the data into here. Here also we have to create a data set. I mentioned the name it as a ds underscore sync. Okay. Now here I have to create a linked service and we have to create a data set. Linked service and a data set. Here what happened, guys? At the time of creating a data set, we have to attach the linked service. I will show you practically also, guys. So here, at the time of creating a data set, we have to attach the linked service. So data set, at the time of creating a data set, we have to attach the linked service. So first create a linked service, then create a data set. Okay. Now, similar way. Here also, here also, I am having a pipeline ADF. I am going to create a linked service. Okay, you can mention anything ls underscore SQL Server. So here which is establish a connection, that's it. Similar way here also, which establishing a connection from your data factory ls underscore gen2. Okay, now I want to pointing to this table. Okay, so here I am going to mention the data set name as ds underscore orders. Okay, so here I am going to mention the data set name as, okay, so here I am going to mention the data set name as ds underscore gen2 underscore orders. So here what happened, guys? Source side, sink side, whatever the data sets you created, you have to attach this one into here. Okay, I will show you. I will tell you. Now, similar way here also. Now, in this case, both are in the same file system. Both are in the same file system. Okay. Source side, I am going to create a linked service ls underscore gen2. Okay, both are in the same environment, so I can use the same linked service here also. Whatever I created, I can use the same thing here also, ls underscore gen2. Now I want to create a data set which is pointing to this folder. So here my data set name is ds underscore inbound. Similar way, here I am going to create a data set pointing to this folder. My data set name is underscore outbound. Okay. Now, once I created a data set, I have to attach this one into activity. So this copy activity, I have to attach the data sets. So here, whatever the data sets you created, these data sets, we have to attach it to the activity. This activity is present in the pipeline. So this activity is present in the pipeline. Okay. So create a linked service, attach this one into the data set, attach their data set into the activity which is present in the pipeline. Okay. Now, okay, guys, let me save this one. Okay. Now, let's go for practical. So first I'm going to implement this one, guys. These things I will explain in the next classes because that environment setup and all next classes I will tell you. So here, guys, if you clear in one pipeline, remaining also the process is same only. Okay. Now I'm going to prepare this environment. So I have to start the file system ADLS. So in the day one, I started this one. Okay, you can go through the recording also. So here we started the file system. Let me explain this one. Go to the file system. Go to here, dev containers. Under the dev container, I am having a folder which is having welcome.txt. So in the dev container, I am going to create a one more folder, outbound folder. Outbound folder. Okay. Now in the outbound folder, I don't have anything. So under the container, I am having a inbound folder which is having a file, and I am having a outbound folder. Outbound folder doesn't have anything. Now my requirement is I have to do copy. So this environment is ready. This environment is ready. Now go to the data factory. Go to the data factory. So here I am going to create a new pipeline. To underscore copy activity. To underscore copy activity. So here, guys, if you observe, if you come to here, pipeline contains activity, right? Okay. Now here pipeline contains activity, here copy data activity. Select this one. Here you can see source and sink. Okay. Observe this one. Activity. Activity contains a data set, right? Now here you can see source side it is expecting a data set. Sink side it is expecting a data set. Then how to create a data set. Okay. Now, so here I will tell you guys one by one. So here to create a data set, a linked service is required. So means first we establishing a connection, then only we can pointing to the file. Okay. So first establishing a connection. Now, how to establishing a connection? We have to create a linked service. How to create a linked service? Go to your data factory. Okay. Here left side panel, you can see manage. You can see manage. Select this one. Here you can see, okay, in the manage tab, you can see different. So here you can see the connections, you can see the linked services. You can see the linked services. Now I'm going to create a linked service here, new. Guys, here we can use this one or this one, anything is fine. Link new. What do you want to connect? So in this case, I want to connect it to the ADLS environment. Okay, Gentoo Lake environment. Okay, ADLS. Sorry, Azure Data Lake Storage Gentoo. ADLS Gentoo. For suppose I want to connect it to the Oracle. So here we can see the Oracle. Guys, here traditionally we have to install the libraries and we are going to write a code. The same thing here, they already provided the predefined connectors, we can connect it to anything. For suppose I want to connect it to SAP systems, I want to connect it to the any Salesforce systems, I want to connect it to the databases, SQL Server, I want to connect it to the another clouds, Amazon related, I want to connect it to Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so already they provided a predefined connectors, we can use that one. Okay, now my requirement is I want to connect it to the file system Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So here I am selecting this one. Continue. Here, what is your linked service name? Okay, what is your linked service name, which is ls underscore gen 2. So here we can use this one, ls underscore gen 2. Guys, here you can write your name, my name also. It can accept. To make sense, I am using ls linked service gen 2 lake. Here you can see what is your subscription. So here under this subscription, whatever the storage accounts, everything you can see here. Among all, what is yours? Now go to here, a dev container. This is my storage account. Go to here, type this one here. So some space is here. Here this is my storage account. Test connection. So if it is success, then establish a connection. Connection successful. Then create. Okay. Now we established a connection from data factory to this one. That's it. Now my requirement is from here to I want to connect it to this one. To do that, we have to create a data set. Then how to create a data set? Then how to create a data set? Go to other. Here you can see the pipelines. Similar way we can see the data set also. Okay. Go to here. Click new data set. Here you can see three dots. Select this one, a new data set. Here also we have to provide which one do you want to connect. So you can see in pipeline activities and data flows, reference a data set to specify the location and structure of your data. Okay, structure of your data within the data store. So where is your data? My data is in the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. It is there here. Select this one. Now what is the format? These are all the format it can support. So other than this, it can support as a binary. Now mine is a text file. There is no text format separately, so I can use the binary now. Binary. Now, so here I want to point into this file. So for my understanding, I am going to use a ds underscore inbound. ds underscore inbound. Okay. Now here you can see, guys, this is the mandatory symbol. Means at the time of creating a data set, make sure we have to attach the linked service. That's why I already created a linked service. Here, select this one. Whatever the linked services for ADLS Gen 2, whatever the linked services for ADLS Gen 2, here we can select that one. Now, once the connection is established, then I can go to the container. Under the container, I am having an inbound folder. Under the folder, I am having a file. So what is your file? So my file name is welcome.txt. I am going to select this one. Here you can see the path dev container inbound welcome.txt. Now I created a data set. You can see the data set here. So here also not saved. Okay. Now similar way, see here what happened is this activity is expecting a data set. One I created for source. I have to create a and one more for sync. What is your sync? Outbound. Sync side also we have to create a data set. Now go to here. I am going to create a one more data set. For what? Sync side. Where is your sync? ADLS Gen 2 only. Okay, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Select this one. So what is your target format? Binary only. As it is, I am expecting a ds underscore outbound. A ds underscore outbound. Now make sure we have to attach the linked service. I'm attaching the linked service. So here I'm connecting to the dev container outbound folder. Here you can see dev container outbound. Here we are not providing any file name, so that whatever the inbound source file will be copied here as it is. Okay, click OK. This one. Now here you can see when I click this one, this is the inbound pointing dev container inbound welcome.txt. Here the file path, observe the file path. This is the file path. This is the file path it is pointing. Similar way, when I go for outbound, dev container, outbound folder, file name. Here I am not mentioning any file name, so the file will be copied as it is. Okay. Now go to copy activity, source side. So whatever the available data sets I can see here, source is the inbound. Source is a inbound, and here you can see file path in dataset. When I go for dataset, here it is, this is the file path. And sync side, I want to copy into the outbound folder. Sync side, I want to copy into the outbound folder. So here, okay, the file, so dataset, when I open the dataset, it is into the outbound folder. Okay, fine. Now it is completed. Now I am going to do publish. Publish all. Check, do we have anything in the outbound folder? Dev container. Do we have anything? We don't have anything. Okay. Now I'm going to execute this one. So publishing completed. It's a kind of save debug. Okay. I will address guys. Okay. Now copy activity completed. Now go to your dev container. Go to outbound folder. Refresh it. The file is exist. Okay. Now here consider in this one under the container, a dev container, under the inbound folder, I am having one more file. Okay. I am having a customer file, customer ID, customer name. Okay. Now I am uploading a file. Go to here, inbound, upload. So here, I uploaded a file. Now this file I want to copy. Go to container, outbound folder. Do we have the file? No. Then, so here, dataset, inbound folder. Now I want to pointing to the file. So I am going to change the file. Browse, dev container, inbound folder. I am pointing to this file. Pointing to this file. Okay. Now I changed the file path. Source side, inbound folder, inbound dataset. When I'm selecting this one, I changed the path. Now publish all. Guys, to open the dataset, here we can open this dataset once selected, we can open here, or we can go to here also. Both are same only. Now Here copy activity published. Okay, now I want to debug. Now here you can see, here copy activity completed. Go to dev container, go to outbound folder, refresh it, customers.txt. Okay, now people will having some questions here. For suppose after 10 minutes, if I run the copy activity again, then it is going to overwrite this file, guys. The same file, if you want to try to copy, again, the file will be overwrite. That is one thing. Okay, and here now my requirement is, here I am having a file orders. I am having a files orders.txt. So whatever the file I want to copy into here, so here the file name I want to make a change. Okay, orders underscore details dot txt. Source side, this is the file name. Target side, I want to copy like this. This is my requirement. Okay, guys, this copy activity is very important. So that's why entire thing I am going to explain again. So for experienced guys, you can understand easily. So others may not able to. Whatever I explained copy activity, okay, I'm going to explain the copy activity from the beginning, guys. Because only this one I'm going to repeat like this, because the copy activity I'm going to play with the next classes. So that's why I'm going to explain again, guys. Okay. Now here last classes I created a pipeline. So here this is the pipeline I created last class. Okay, now I am going to create a storage account. Okay, so in this resource group, I am going to create a storage account. This is the resource group. I am going to create a storage account. So go to here, I am going to create a storage accounts. Now, so here for which resource group, this is my resource group. Under this resource group I want to create a storage account, attach this one. So what is your storage account name? Dev STG account batch 53. This is my storage account name. Okay, guys, so make sure we have to enable this checkbox. Okay, if you do not enable this one, then after login, after open the file system, there you cannot see the folder, add directory folder, you cannot see. So here check this box, review and create. Now here I created this storage account. Now my requirement is I am having a inbound folder. There is a file orders.txt. Okay. Now now observe this one. Here it is completed. Go to your resource group, refresh it. So you can see the storage account. As this is the first time we are creating, we have to create a container, dev container. I am creating a dev container. Now here container. This container. So here I want inbound folder, outbound folder. So I am having a two folders. One is inbound and another one is a outbound folder. In the inbound folder, I am having a file orders.txt. So I am going to create a file order ID, customer ID, order amount. Okay, over customer ID C1 20,000, O2 C2 customer ID 30,000. Okay, so here you can orders. Now here I am having a file. So I want to upload a file in the inbound folder. Upload a file in the inbound folder. Do we have an outbound folder or do we have anything in the outbound folder? We don't have anything. Okay, fine. So in this one, in this resource group, I prepared a storage account, everything is fine. Now I'm going to data factory. Data factory, launch studio. Now, so as I said, the first thing is we have to create a linked service. For what? From data factory to the file system source. Both here source and target are same environment, so I can create a one linked service. So where we can create a linked service? Go to here, go to manage, go to here. Here you can see the manage linked services. Select this one. In this one, I want to connect it to Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Select this one here. So you can keep any name, guys. I am keeping ADLS Gen 2. I am going to keep file name this one linked service name as like this. Now, free trial subscription. What is your storage account name? So this is my storage account name. Select this one. Check whether the connection is established or not. Yes, connection is established. Fine. Then, so this connection I can use for both source and sink. Then I have to create a data set. Where is your data set? I want to pointing to the orders file now. I want to pointing to the orders file now. So how to create a data set? So go to other. Okay. Go to other. Here you can see the data set. I am going to create a new data set. Where is your data? In Gen 2. ADLS Gen 2. What is the format? Right now it is also text format. So here I am going to change a ds underscore source. ds underscore source. Now what do you want to? So here we have to establish a connection. I want to connect it to the file system. Here I already established a connection. Once it is connected, I can see file system I can access. In the inbound, I am having a file orders.txt. Okay. Now you can see here. In dev container inbound orders.txt. So here both source and sink expected a data set. So I created data set here. I have to create a data set here also. I am going to here new data set. What do you want to do? I want to connecting to the lake binary format. A ds underscore sync. Established a connection. Here dev container outbound folder. Here what is the file name? Order underscore details.txt. Okay, click OK. Click OK. Okay, you can see path. Now I created a data set for source. I created data set for sync. Publish. Now next what I have to do? created a linked services, created a data set, attach these data sets to the copy activity. Go to here, pipelines. I am going to create a new pipeline which is a copy activity. Now, so pipeline contains activities. One of the activities copy data activity. Okay, copy data activity. Source side we have to attach the data set. I already created a data set, attach that one. Sync side we have to create a data set. I already created a data set, attach this one. If you observe the source data set, when I open the data set, here you can see file path in data set. When I open the data set, the file path is this one. Okay. So sync side we can create a data set. When I open the data set, here you can see this one. Now publish all. Debug. 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 Go to here, go to your storage account. Go to containers, go to dev container, go to outbound. Here you can see the file. You can see the content of the file. Whatever the file content as it is, I copied. Okay. Now, here guys, this is the way we can do copy activity. Guys, here I copied one files. Okay, we can copy to multiple files also. Okay. And here guys, in the real time what happened is, I have a source and sync, right? For suppose consider I am having a visa and master. This is my ICICI. I am working here as a data engineer. I am working as a data engineer. So whatever the ICICI, the source system is the visa and master because they are going to maintain this data. So end of the day they are going to provide this data to these people. Okay, end of the day they are going to provide the data. So these people, they can maintain the data in the form of any file system they can maintain, in the form of any database tables they can maintain, or they can provide any API calls. Okay, for suppose if they are providing the file system, means here they will send the data to these people. Okay, here they will send the data like this. Consider ICICI underscore, okay, 19 underscore 02 underscore 2025 dot txt. Okay, so here consider this is the credit card transaction. So here consider credit card transactions. So their data, they're going to send it to these people in the form of the file like this. Now here, whoever working here, once I received the data, I can load the data into the database. Okay, the similar kind of thing I am going to maintain the tables in the cloud environment. So how to do those things I will tell you in the next classes, guys. So here what you have to understand is, here we are going to receive the data, so in the form of file. So file contains the transactions related whatever. So for suppose here I explained orders. Okay, I explained customers like this. So here for suppose I am going to maintain the flipkart.com. So there is a front end applications. So where you are going to filling the details, front end applications, whatever your orders are placed, these orders they are going to maintain the file system. Okay, orders related. These data they want to send it to the another team. So there is another team they are going to maintain another team. So here these people will send the data. Okay, so whatever the data they received, okay, they want to maintain the data in the tables. So here consider they are going to send the data like this, orders underscore 1902 2025 .txt, CSV files, JSON files. So this data I want to receive. Okay, so these kind of data loaded into the tables. So next classes I will tell you guys. For suppose I am having a folder source files. So here I will receive the files orders underscore 19 underscore 022025.txt or JSON. Okay, products underscore 19 underscore 022025.json. So similar way, I am having a different date products. I am having a different date products. So here among all, okay, I want to get only yesterday dates. Those data I want to load it into orders data into orders table, products data into products table. Okay, so like this, how to handle multiple files into multiple tables. So multiple scenarios I am going to cover in the next sessions, guys. So working people, those the way Linux environment, whatever the files we are getting, we are going to load it into the table. Similar way, all those scenarios we are going to cover here. So as the beginning, I explained only one file pipeline, one file. Okay. So this is for today, guys. Any doubts online, folks? Some people are already messaged. Okay, let me address those questions. In which scenario we can use the set variable activity? So one of the example, guys, sir, here I am having a 10 files. 10 times I cannot able to write a copy activity. So here in those cases, I can use the variables. I can iterate the variables. I can iterate that one. So next class you will understand, sir, scenarios also. Okay, where we can use. For suppose whatever the value, instead of reusability related to the way in the programming language, instead of value you are using the variable. Similar way in the pipeline, instead of using this one, see here, consider here I have used the file name. The file name value I used. The same thing I can change, I can make it a variable also. Okay, for suppose here I used, okay, I have a one more copy activity. Consider I am having a one more activity. Here also I am one more activity. Everywhere I am using the orders.txt file. Orders.txt. So for suppose I want to make a modification, everywhere I have to modify this one. Instead of that, if I use the variable, if I modify the variable, every places it will be reflected. Okay. In detail, I will tell you in the next sessions, guys. When you go for practical, you will understand more. The way programming language you are using the variable, the same purpose, sir. In GCP connector for different concept. GCP is one of the cloud. Okay, if you want to connect it to get the Google Cloud data, you can connect it to GCP connector. Why we are debugging after publishing? So somewhere we have to run the pipeline. So to run the pipeline, we can use the debug. To run the pipeline, we can use the debug. So we can schedule the pipeline also. Debugging is, so to execute this pipeline, we can use the debug. And here, guys, this copy activity related recording I will upload. But here, guys, it will take around 2 to 3 hours to understand and to practice. If you practice today's session, then only you will understand the tomorrow session. So if you observe here today, if I run the pipeline anytime, okay, the same file is going to copy. So every time the same file is going to do copy. Okay, now my requirement is whatever the file name I am going to say, that file has to copy. I am repeating. Here next class I will tell you parameters. Okay, parameterized data set. So whatever the file name I said, that file will be copied. Okay, so to understand that one, make sure you have to practice today copy activity, guys. Any doubt? Anybody? Any doubts, guys? Okay, guys, for drive access related, those who are all interested, and you can message me in WhatsApp for drive access. And the payment related details, you got a mail, guys. So according to that, you can plan. And tomorrow the link is going to change, guys. Tomorrow meeting link will be changed. So those who are all interested to enroll the course, you can enroll, guys. Tomorrow link it will be changed. You will get a message. Those who already joined in the course, you will get an email, guys. Tomorrow before session by 6:30 you will get an email, guys. Guys, hope you are clear about the copy activity. So take today assignments, guys. Consider I'm having a source files folder under the dev container. So earlier we copied the file from inbound folder to outbound folder. We have copied the file from inbound folder to outbound folder. Whatever the file is there, we copied into here. Now consider here I am having a file. I am having a folder source files.txt, source files. In this one, I am having a file like this. Okay. So here I am having a file products.txt. Okay, products.txt. So here consider products.txt will be like this: product ID, product name, P1, mobile, P2, laptop. Okay. Now my requirement is whatever the file here, this file I want to copy into outbound folder. Okay. So whatever the file, here, this one I want to copy into outbound folder. So here, so assignment is copy the file from source files folder to outbound folder. Okay, take this one as an assignment, guys. Outbound folder. That is one thing. And one more thing is copy the file from inbound folder to outbound folder. Consider in the inbound, I am having a file customers.txt. This one I want to copy into the outbound folder like this, customers underscore new.txt. So whatever the content of the file, I want to copy into here. Here, as it is, I want to copy. So both I explained today, guys. Okay. So try to complete these things today. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining today.